What's good, people? I'm out of breath, so I apologise in advance. I've just been training for a little minute. Just got myself back in. Oh, ready to set back off home. Little review. I did a listen through to, I think I've got the pronunciation right. Let me know if I don't. Nasum and their debut LP released in 1998. Entitled Inhale Exhale, which is something I'm doing right now, which is something we all are, some more than others. I don't know too much about Grindcore as far as the bands are concerned, so I got a comment from one of my subscribers on my other channel where I do not reviews, but reaction videos to listen through the entirety of the records. King of the Pit TV, yeah? I got recommended listen to a bit more crust, a little more grind, because these YouTube channels aren't doing this material. So, I thought let's start somewhere. Went on a little Google search purely to see as to what came up. I mean, I'm not so naive that I don't know what grindcore is and so on and so forth. I'm really into my hardcore and stuff, so it, goes hand in hand really. So I just had a little list of bands I haven't really checked out, and I thought, you know what, Nasum is a place to start. Now, I got onto the playlist of the tracks. Normally I record one track at a time, two tracks at a time, and upload it all. Bro, there's 38 tracks on this bloody record. It spans over 40 minutes, near about 44 minutes long if I remember correctly. 38 tracks, which is insane. I mean, it's not abnormal for a grind, crust, power violence, punk act. Punk in general, it's not abnormal. I mean, 38 on a track is quite abnormal, but as far as the song lengths, it's nothing shocking. Relapse Records put this out, and I thought, fuck it, let's get straight into it. So, first thing I noticed was it was quite bass heavy, the production. Real low to the floor, real booming as far as the bass frequency is concerned. The vocals, gruff, low, death metal-esque. The high vocals initially, for the first 12 odd songs, were distorted. They had an effect placed upon them, so they weren't like a back and forth like you'd get in a Disruptor, you know what I mean? Your general crusty bands where you'll have one vocalist here and one vocalist there, and they'll share the space, the sonic in the mix. Here we've definitely got a lead vocal, which is the low vocal, the death metal growl, and then we've got the high-pitched, high-frequency, shrieking vocal. But initially on the record, they've added some sort of effect which makes it seem like a backing vocal as opposed to, a proper full frontal vocal. So whether that was the band's choice or the sound engineer's choice, who knows? But that actually stops so far through the record, and the vocal line changes a little bit to the degree where I thought it was a guest vocal on one track, and then I realised the trend had changed. So I don't know if they've gone in for a second recording session or it's come from two separate recording sessions and they've mixed it differently, add different approaches to the sound each time. But that's something I clocked onto. The drumming was good. The drumming was consistent. Plenty of blasts. As far as the riffs are concerned, you'd get a nice groove here and there. I'm not going to lie to you, nice groove. You get a nice hardcore punk riff here and there. You get a relatively groovy New York hardcore-esque riff here and there. A Madball type groove, which doesn't sound that way purely because of the key they're playing in. I'm sure they drop-tune their guitars to some extent. The production and the tinniness and sound of the drum kit alongside, the death metal vocals. So it's detached, but, if we had changed them to different sounds, we would get that. I think it was an insane album length. I give respect to you grindcore heads if you're really into listening to the entirety of the 45 at least minutes. It's not at least, but you know what I mean. Let's call it 45 minutes worth of music, of that intensity, of that extremity, of that noise, of that audacity. 38 tunes of it, back to back. You've definitely got your head screwed on when it comes to metal if you're into that. Because to me, man, I reckon you could have got done in 25 minutes, still put it out on Relapse, still had quality content, if anything, condensed it and concentrated that power a little bit more. So I feel like it was stretched out a bit too far, considering conceptually, you know, we didn't have much change in the instrumental. We didn't have any experimental parts for the most part. Lyrical content, conceptual lyricism, you can't really pick up on the majority of it. So it's not like you're hearing the storytelling to a deep degree as we go track to track to track. It's just a lot of noise, a lot of racket. So I would have said 25 minutes, if not up to 30, 32 minutes would be pristine, perfect for that sound. Because I think it overstayed its welcome a bit, I'm not going to lie to you. But other than that, it was a nice insight. I didn't mind the record too much. I didn't mind the sound. I bet they're a really good live band. One thing that came to mind is it's unbelievable that these bands have come together and remembered that at the very least to take it to the studio to put on record. That's a lot of hard work. Speaking from experience, I did a record, a hardcore punk record, came up to 15 minutes. We did about 12 to 14 tracks on it. And even then, just working as a free piece, sometimes it's bloody hard to get the rest of the band members to cooperate and remember and play to a high standard, let alone 38 tracks spanning 45 minutes, you know? So that's wild. And so I'll leave that one there. As far as my rating, I'm not going to give it a great high rating because I think it overstayed its welcome. The production was all right. I didn't think it was groundbreaking. Maybe around the time it was, you know, quite good. Definitely good enough for Relapse. I mean, you get enough material on there, substantial amount of bang for your buck as far as value is concerned when you purchase that record. You know, they've come there well prepared, well thought out, a good, tight, cohesive band. As far as my personal experience, my tastes, I'd like to hear a little more punk as opposed to the metal. I'm going to give this record a 4 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. I do want to see how it develops from here on, though. I do want to see how the band develops. I've seen that it got fronted for the 20th anniversary by the frontman of Rotten Sound, and that's another band I need to delve into. So, you know, we'll check that act out. I'm sure we'll get somewhat of the same, you know, elements, but there might be something a little tastier in there for me. And without further ado, I'm signing out. So click subscribe. You know what we do here. Peace, one.